Hello, it's Chris and welcome back to the Sea. What do we have on the show today? Today we're going to start Project UX. What? Project 3000UX, kindly gifted to me as payment for repair from Mr. Vern. With so much amazing stuff. If you didn't see that unboxing, please go check that out. And that was incredible. Now, in the meantime, I have been trying to source a 40mm screw type fan that would bolt onto this thing. And I also took it off and soaked it with deoxit, and now I can get it to actually spin sorta freely. It sounds like my knees when I stand up, really slow, but we're going to ignore that and hope for the best. I also took all of the RAM out extremely carefully, fiberglass penned it, and put it back in. I have not turned it on since the initial time where we fired it up and it sort of worked and then overheated and then freaked out. I asked Mr. Vern if he wanted this back. He says if you can use it for the UX, use it. So we're going to try and make her sing her song. This is literally in pieces because I took it all apart to scavenge the best of both worlds. I've been trying to find Amiga floppy cables without luck. This was all taken apart to make the best of both worlds for Mr. Vern's. You saw the paint job and all the cool stuff we did. That thing looked brand new. This one needs a little bit of love, and we're going to give her the same treatment. This is the UX, which is for Amiga Unix. Amiga Unix, nicknamed Amix, was AT&T System 5 Release 4. How do I know that? Because it says so right here in the book. It's just some light reading, and then an addendum, and a learning Amiga Unix book. So this is the install, this is the learn, and this is the using. So we have all three manuals. I also have the tape. Installing Amix requires a special tape drive, but I showed this in the past, the actual brand new in the packaging Amiga Unix tape. This is 150 meg on this quick tape, and it has the install discs, the receipt, everything needed to make this party happen. However, one of the key factors in this party is a working 3000UX, of which I do not have yet. Today's interrupter is brought to us by Mr. Michael. Mr. Michael explaining some stuff that he donated to me, some various parts. So the Unix AT&T System 5 Release 4, I have some various things on it. It also used a 3-button Prego Chris Belly Edition mouse. It has a part number of 313255-001, June 1990, made in Japan. This has no screws in it because I just pulled everything apart. You'll see it's a big mess in there. This is the 3000UX case. There is physically no difference in cases. It still maintains the pop-out doohickey for the secondary floppy drive if you had one. This has a date of birth, January 9th, 1991. You'll notice one thing is missing from this unit that is very important to an Amiga 3000, regardless if it's Unix or not. The power supply. This is the current state of the power supply. I cannot fix it because I have bad luck with power supplies. I have tried to get this to turn on. One of the transformers is dead. Something is melted in there, and I did put some caps on it, and it shot a explosive light from the fuse area, and something grounded out. To which I took it back apart and wrote some stuff on the bottom, not this, right here in marker, and remind myself to solder the plate back on for all of the MOSFETs, of which they're in here. They have little cooling pads on their feet right there, little silicone pads, and this should have worked, but something isn't happy. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to work on the power supply, but I have alternatives in the meantime via ATX conversions to at least power the board and work on this thing later. If this does not work out, I have an alternative tertiary plan I contacted Mr. Simon Gosk over on the Amiga, what forum is it? Amiga forum. Mr. Simon Gosk on the Amiga forum. And I purchased 2 of his 60 Hertz tick boards so I could, again, take a ATX power supply and put it in a 3000 case. We also have a hard drive board that is snapped. The light that is snapped, this one would not power up. There was another one, he had 2 in there, and the original SCSI cable, and Kickstart 204 ROMs, and that's where we left off. She's dirty. The battery was cut, so there's not a lot of damage to it. Here's the battery. The dust sucks it up. Alcohol is not a cleaner. You can see she cleans up real nice. There is some scuzz right here. I'll just ignore and just keep wiping. Little bullet hole right there. Crept north a little bit into one of the 374s or whatever they are of the amber chip. But you can see she's going to wipe up real nice. You know, there's a massive scratch across the Agnes. I believe we turned this on and it turned on. We also have the original hard drive sled that simply goes into these clamps and slides back, and you put a screw in here and it holds the hard drive. None of the plastic bits are in because I used them in the other Amiga for Mr. Vern. So this didn't work, but I touched it with some solder and I haven't tested it, and we're going to hope that it does. But the board is bent like that because shoving the case in with the lights not lined up, it just boogers the crap out of them. That cracks all the solder traces in there, and that's what makes them not work. I do get a power light now with my, well, I did get a power light, and this was the one that was broke, so it's not working. I thought it worked, but it don't. So yeah, I haven't even taken it apart. I don't know what's underneath, nor what's going on. Nothing's been reseated, nothing's been touched, it's just that. So we have a white, non-working Amiga 3000D at the moment, and that's where we're at. We got an Amiga 3000 Rev 901, 1990, 8 megs of RAM, 2 mega chip. The dips here have been moved over to here. We are rocking a Ramsey 04, Fat Gary 02, Super DMAC 02, and a Super Buster 07. Our ROMs are Kickstart 204, which are probably the ones that were in here. These are the Super Kickstart 1.4 ROMs in here. So this was the box that the Kickstart 2 upgrade came in, which are in here. We're going to go ahead and remove the board. When you have the whole tray on, there's not a lot of room right here for accelerators. You can see she's really low profile, so when the drive tray is sitting right here, you have virtually no room. So this mercury from Progressive Peripherals would sit on these massive 4 big brassy bronze dudes and actually be able to fit underneath this drive tray with a miracle sliver of a millimeter, if you're lucky, fan clearance, and not cool the device. So much so that this has been hit, and I'll show you how I know that, because the fan has been bent, physically crushed down. You see it flat right there, and you can see how it's supposed to be up just a little bit right here, but it's been smashed down. Maybe that's why I'm having such problems with getting it working. 2 of the 4 rubber feet. We'll get the residue later. Tonight's interrupter by a text is my daughter, who needs a birthday card for her friend. I just got home from work at 6:23 p.m. and then I had to run back out to get her a chicken sandwich at the old KFC. That's Kentucky Fried Chemicals here in America. On the 3000, every time I've pulled out the 31 kilohertz nut driver nuts bolts, why are they so long? You gotta pop out these guys because your SCSI lights are gonna hit them. So go ahead and pull these plastic dudes out. There's a 3-pin mofo right here in the front that's going to bang. So if you have it out, you can grab it and pull forward just enough to get it out. There we go. Here's Big Mama. That's a big motherboard. On the bottom, it looks a hell of a lot better. No dust, no fuss, no muss. Inside, we have the plastic cover, normal dust load, a little bit of liquid spill right here, and just some chip pressing solder in there, some chip marks here, probably from extensive solder joints of whatever. Peeling the plastic off, the shiny side on the bottom looks good. The metal case, while dusty, is intact. This unit was chopped for a video toaster right here, and we'll have to file that down. The case is slightly bent. It looks relatively flat, so board warpage should be to a minimal. Tonight's interrupter, well, it's 3 of them, but one really special person, Mr. Randall Jessup. If you know that name, he's infamous in the Commodore community, meaning everybody knows Dave and RJ and Gary and everybody else. So Mr. Randall was responsible for OS 3.1. Very important in my life, and I thank you so much for your dedication when you were at Commodore, along with everybody else who used to work there. So Mr. Randall says that he has 2 CD32s, one boots the other, he hasn't checked, and the custom chips on the CDTV-CR seem good. The only issue I see anywhere are the simple components. As far as Beth's power supply, it might be a simple fix. Dried caps, worst case, she just wants +12, -12, +5, -5. Mine has handwritten specs on the side. Imagine the rest of Beth's is okay. I asked him if he would do a YouTube channel and set up his stuff. He goes, I'm not going to be a YouTuber. He's going to sell a bunch of prototypes. He even has 2 CD32 debug boards. The known working CD32 loads games, though there might be some CIA issues. One game I tried didn't seem to respond to joystick inputs. But then again, I don't know how the game works either. Has a full motion video module. I don't know how common those are. Probably about as common as video CDs. That's right. So he has a CDTV CR, which I want to show you real quick. It doesn't have the case. It looks like that. Check that out. Isn't that cool? Still has the expansion fake PCM CIA header. What looks like the normal expansion bus right there. And something on a ribbon cable. Or is that the full motion video module? That's crazy awesome. CDTV IDE interface. If I flip this, it's going to flip my phone. Look at that. CDTV IDE interface. Incredible. Not only does he have 1 or 2, but 3. And the custom faceplate. I mean, so much. That is incredible. Very cool. So Mr. Randall, thanks for sharing those. I love seeing the history. He's got a Commodore 4000 tower that I drool over, and luckily it's been in his living room since the 90s, and I think that's great. Mr. Keith was asking me what color my Ionic was. Tried to outdo the cost of the car versus the fuel that I've saved and the not having the truck anymore. So in case you don't know, in case I didn't see it, I have a Kia Soul. It's a little hamster car. I'm a big fat dude, so it's kind of like a clown car for me. Not big fat dude, but I'm a big dude. And so getting in and out of that little clown car, plus it's got like 125,000 miles, so it's like 200,000 kilometers. I don't know. A lot of miles on it. It's been having a second engine, and it keeps dropping coil packs like I drop chicken wings. And at $400 for 4, that's a pretty pricey penny. It also gets 20.2 miles per gallon, 24, sometimes even 30, downhill in neutral if I don't hit the gas, and then back down. So I burn about $700 to $800 a month in fuel, and then another $100 for an oil change every month. It adds up. And my new car payment, while expensive, cost me $3.82 to charge from 12% to 80% overnight on my home charger. And that's a hell of a lot of difference. So in 1 month, I burned $70 in electricity versus $800+ in fuel and oil changes. Therefore, warranty, the fuel savings alone paid for my new car with a warranty. I'm getting old. I don't work on vehicles that much anymore. Little things, blower motors, spark plugs, you'll see that. Okay, so enough of personal issues. That video hopefully will come out soon if it hasn't already, Mr. Keith. She needs a bath before I can do anything. I was thinking about just tossing her in the dishwasher. So I'm going to use the next best thing, and that's what I call hot tank in a can. And I'm probably out. I am out. That's WD-40 Specialist Contact Cleaner. I want to show you how it works. I have like 3 seconds of power in here. Get your trash can that you never empty and make that your drip tray. I'm just going to zoom into the area here, and I'm just going to zap around here, okay? Just to show you how it works. I'm going to keep on going. Let's just run it out. Running out. Ah, crap. A little bit. We're hanging on there. We're trying. Not enough pressure. Well, that's that. Can you see the difference? Hot tank in a can. And I will just let this dry in front of a fan, and you have a brand new board. All cleaned out and whatever. Now, sometimes I'll even squirt it with the hooch. That's 91% isopropyl alcohol. That dries a lot faster. And I'll stick it either in front of the fan for a little bit to let the alcohol dry off, and then we're good to go. Now, I didn't scrub. I don't want to damage anything like ink or anything like that. I don't mind ink or markers. It'll come right off. But I'll go over it with Q-tips and whatever. But she's going to drip for a little while. So that's what hot tank in a can. Alright, so we're done off the fan. And this is what it looks like. Dry. Didn't scrub. You saw what I did. I shot it with a can of contact cleaner, special WD-40 Specialist Cleaner. And she does a good job. It's not 100% dry, hence why I shoot it with alcohol. I just stuck it in front of the fan for like a minute to dry the alcohol off. The cleaner, the Specialist Contact Cleaner, does say come on, brain, work with me. Cleans sensitive electrical parts, leaves no residue, which it doesn't. But this is a lie. Either that or I'm using entirely too much product. I use it like carburetor cleaner. Comes out 9,000 miles per hour, lasts 6.3 seconds. It's also $9.99 a can now. That's how I clean your boards. Anyway, there you go. Look at that. Remember how dusty and crusty she was? A little bit of that cleaner and a shot in the dark on the fan. Now I have to let it sit because there's still alcohol and stuff in the chip valleys and sockets, I'm sure, but it will evaporate eventually. But it looks a lot better and it saves me all that mess. I'm going to reset all the jumpers. What are you talking about? Reset the jumpers. I pull the jumpers off because those pins, especially on clean boards, on the dirty girls, these copper mofos can get some corrosion on them, especially if you had a leak, and it can cause it to just bond. And therefore breaking the jumper free and sliding it up and down can scratch the copper again, thus making the jumped connection and possibly making your life 3.1, maybe 2% better. Got another text from Mr. Randall. He's like, I got several of these RAM IDE modules for the CD-TV and the CR. I did the software for it. A minor tweak on the A600-1200 IDE code. Yeah, you made Amiga OS, buddy. I was just filming a video when I said you were the interrupter of the day. And I had to explain to everyone how important that you are to this system that we all love so much. And I personally want to thank you for your service. Or Commodore salute. And I gave him the thumbs up. He says, ha! Alright, so I'm going to go drink some coffee because the tired bug's kicking in. In the meantime, while off camera, I'm going to wash the case just with soap and water and get her ready to have a new paint job and outlook on life. We're going to spray her with the aluminized metal paint. That is the same color matched, sort of close enough, not shiny but a matte finish. Looks just like the steel that it is, and it also protects it so when I touch it with fingerprints I don't acid etch the oils of my skin into the metal, thus causing rust. Right, it's been over 24 hours since I washed this puppy. Here she is, all clean and dry and shiny. Look at that. Just hot tank in a can. Does the Hertel light do the 3000 also?
Grazie. Grazie.
Let's see what happens. Energize. Low and no. Low and no. I thought this worked. I don't know. Getting the board working first is a priority. Well, that sucks eggs.
Shit.
This is an RGB. Amber is off. Nothing.
Nothing.
Stuck in low. Alright, so step one for this girl is turn it off and put diagram in it. Yeah! Good God! I think the last person to put them in was many years ago. Sockets look great. And let's see what we see on the screen. Energize. Nothing. Nothing at all. Alright. Put in my 030 that works. Same thing. Get a video boop and a nothing. Let's get this and put this in. I tried the 030. We're going to try the 040. Well, I get something. Nothing on diagram. Dead to the world, dead to the world. What did I do? I just moved the jumpers around, swapped the power supply, and then it freaking worked. Okay, mouse is working. Serial is not working. Do some tests. CIAs. Experimental test CIAs. That way it's NTSC or friendlier. Alright, well, VSync slow because I don't have a tick. NTSC this time? Yes, okay. You gotta hit spacebar to get an NTSC. I should have a tick. There we go. Because I'm in VSync. Okay. Okay. H-sync. Don't worry about that. That's salt. We throw that out. Whoops. IRQs are okay. NTSC is fast. So we can go like this. We can go 9 spacebar. Get back into PAL where it looks beautiful. Audio test, play test module. Cool. Cool, I'm just freaking tickled pink the board works. I don't care, I'll take it. Maybe one of the jumpers wasn't making contact correctly. Okay, so it passed. I couldn't see the line lock because Windows decided to upgrade. Oh man. So that ain't good. Yep, we got some bad RAM. Let's just let her rip and see what happens. I gotta buy more of this RAM. It's expensive. Or I'll have to use some kind of CPU RAM. Oh, I had one good block. Look at that. One good block. Okay, graphics tests. Low res. Oh, nice. Look at that. 320 by 200. Shit. And died. Doesn't look the greatest, but I'll take it. There's no blue. Okay, let's put these Kickstart 204s back in. Yes! Sorry, I get a little excited.
Oh, it's good. Good and terrible.
Here we go, floppy boot. This is a PC reflop floppy, or FZ357 PC one. Yes, look at that. See, my mouse button isn't nice on this mouse. It's a 1200 mouse, kind of sucks. Sweet. Now Mr. Jonathan, who always is helping a brother out, shipped me over the Amiga test kit serial and parallel dongle ports, which I'm going to turn off to plug in. Loopback serial test. Green is good. Red is bad. Green is good. That's the dongles. Alright. We'll go up one. We'll do parallel. Lights on. Green is good. Awesome sauce. The dongles work. Dongle build guide shows you right there. Don't know anything about that. LED indicates the ports are operational, and that's what these little lights are. There's another one behind the floppy drive. You can't see it because of the double stacked SCSI parallel connector. Thank you, Mr. Jonathan, for that and supporting me like you always do. Greatly appreciated. You guys could keep a flow of Terry's chocolate oranges just heading this way weekly. That'd be awesome.
Would you like some chicken? I've got more.
No thanks.
No.
Or you guys in Germany, how about some Coca-Cola? You guys still got that stuff? Not the World War II brand with the meth in it, but the Coca-Cola, the round tin. They still make that? I don't know if they still make them. Coca-Cola. Round tin. You can get them in blue or the red with red and white little tin. It was little triangles of energy chocolate. Man, it was good stuff. Here we go, 31 kilohertz. Wah, 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 wah. Bye-bye, Amber. That sucks. Alright, so the idea is ceramic screwdriver in this blue girl. And you give her a little wiggle, like a micro wiggle. We're going to turn it on. And we're going to flip it to Amber in a second after I know it boots. I guess I could have left the kickstart screen on there too. And you twist this little cap till it's out of phase or in phase. See that? See how it's kind of like, well, let me zoom in here. See how it's kind of blurry? It'll blur. Blur. See the blurriness? But that's in 15. So if I hit it in 31, ooh, look at those fingerprints. Oh shit! Hang on. If I adjust this tray, whoa! Alright. Little wiggle did her. Brought the contacts back in. Remember what I said about copper getting corroded and losing its touch? And by rubbing it together, you smear the crap away and it works again? It's just some like small time fixes for saving you the trouble of removing that trimmer cap. I got a bag full of them. I bought like 60 of them. I got like 10 left. Well, that's not good. There's the 040 hell. And that's what happens. And double mouse button. No. 040's effing up. Okay, so hashtag Amiga Life. I'm using the 3000 with Go 80F to write a physical disc to a Super Kickstart disc on the DF1. My desk is trashed, I know. Perfect. 80F written successfully in a second. There we go. Successfully written to DF1. I'm going to leave that running. It'll load the Super Kickstart screen. Now when you have a hard drive, it just boots. Yep. Alright, Amber adjusted again. She's not perfect. We're going to put the disc in, and we're going to say Kickstart 1.3 from floppy. Now, on a hard drive, you would click it. If you double mouse button, you'd get this screen. Floppy, loading Kickstart 1.3. And this, like the 1000, will hold that in ROM until you power off the machine. There we go. And this is Kickstart 1.3 for the 3000. In a second. Look familiar? And if I were to do the triple finger, take this disc out, I can boot anything I want, and reboot. It will just map ROM or hold it in RAM, and I'll have the hand again. When I turn the unit off, and then turn the unit back on, it will prompt me to the same screen. Now if I have a hard drive hooked up, it looks in the L directory for said Kickstart that the installer makes. Same thing goes for Kickstart 2. You choose from floppy. Loading Kickstart 2. My Amber is screwing up again, so my apologies. Let me adjust its phase. There we go. I gotta keep turning it as this unit runs more. Burp. There you go. 37.175. And my Amber's screwing up yet again. Give her a little turn. Make her clear. That's how that works. Now the trick was you have a 1.4 beta if you click in the top left. Now I can reboot this. This Amiga still has some issues. Let's get her stick. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to just put this disc in, and I'm going to click in the top left. Come on, mouse. There we go. Mouse sucks. And there, see, it works. It'll tell me it's a 1.4 beta kickstart, 36.16, which is odd, but, you know, it works. I gotta get this mercury working. Something is up with this, with the fan. I gotta get the fan out. Good to know that these ROMs are alive. They always die, but 1.4 beta, 1989, before the 3000 even hit the streets. That way when you're working on it, you didn't have to freaking do a super kickstart disc. Secret menu. Okay, so that's it for me for a minute. I'll see you guys in a second.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?